She wasn't a president. She didn't write policy. She didn't sit in smoky rooms where world leaders argued over borders and treaties. But Patti Smith created something far more durable than any political speech. A song that reminded ordinary people that power doesn't just flow down from governments. Sometimes it rises up from the streets. It began in the late 1980s. The Cold War was winding down. Democracies were shaking awake, and millions of people were starting to question the systems they had grown up under. Patti Smith and her partner, Fred "Sonic" Smith, were talking about the world, war, poverty, inequality, and what it would take to change any of it. Out of those conversations came a simple but radical idea. What if people stopped waiting for permission? What if they remembered that power, real power, didn't belong to a handful of leaders, but to entire nations of citizens? That idea became a song, a pulse, a chant, a challenge. People have the power. When the song was released in 1988, it didn't sound like a Cold War anthem, but it became one anyway. Across Europe, student movements used it as a rallying cry. In Eastern Europe, where some countries were just beginning to step out of authoritarian rule, activists blasted it from loudspeakers. It showed up at protests in Argentina and Chile, places recovering from dictatorships where political speech had been dangerous only years before. And decades later, when the world changed again, when protests for democracy, climate, social justice, and civil rights returned to the streets, the song returned too. Not because music trends brought it back, but because its message outlived the generations who first heard it. Governments changed, borders shifted, political ideologies rose and fell, but the chorus remained untouched. People have the power to redeem the work of fools. That line wasn't poetry. It was a warning, a promise, and a dare. Patti Smith never ran for office. She never commanded a nation. But her voice traveled farther than most political campaigns ever could. Her message moved across decades, across continents, across languages, because it spoke to something politicians can never fully control. People realizing they don't have to wait to shape history. This is the private observer. And in the end, the most dangerous idea in geopolitics isn't revolution or ideology, but a crowd that suddenly remembers. It has the power to change the world.